Hey, magicals. Okay, let me just bring it down a little bit because it kind of feels a bit weird. I hope you guys have had a fabulous weekend. Welcome to the new week. Welcome to us inching ever closer to Mercury retrograde. It's already starting its nonsense. I can feel it. Like technology is not playing the game. Okay, so Kelso wanted to do another quick little update on inner child. Let me just move this back a bit. Sorry, guys. Don't get seasick for a minute. I feel like I'm right in your face. Sorry. He wanted to do another little one on just touching base on the inner child stuff. So for those of you who watched the energy update last week, we spoke about how part of how I've been healing is by activating my sense of fun and that childlike kind of sense of adventure again, and that almost like going back to, I want to say, a naive kind of mindset, but certainly an innocence and easiness, right? That as adults we don't really have because we deal with responsibility. So I said to him, I didn't know how to do this. So he said, no, we're going to probably do a video around this. And so here we are. We're back. Hope you missed us. Okay, so first and foremost, I have to say this is really exciting. I had thought about it this weekend. I'd been taken back to actually how far. Actually, I didn't think about that. It's just dawned on me now. I'd been taken back to the suburb of Durban that I grew up in as a baby, as a child, and I had gone to my foster sister's 60th birthday party because she's so much older than me. um, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. It had been the last time I'd been in that area since my foster mom died, and I didn't know how I was going to feel. I saw a few people, not so many, but 3 or 4 people that had been there since I was a baby, that knew me since I was a baby, and that are my foster sister's age. And it was such a beautiful way to reconnect and to have that time and that energy. And the reason I'm telling you this is because for me, I kind of was a bit skeptical going back, not knowing how I'd feel, but it really was so good. It was really good, so good. And a little while ago, I spoke to you about moving home and how that's a trigger from when I lost my foster home, when I was taken out of my foster home by my biological mother. I think being there and experiencing the people that were there when I was a baby who knew me as like a little toddler running around, and that space. I'm sorry, I'm finding it very hard to try and articulate the feeling. It's not just about the words, it's about the feeling. I'm trying to get Kelso to be concise because he's just like, he wants to do the video and then he's off having margaritas in Margaritaville. It's kind of like the energy of, I knew I'd done the healing because it felt so good. There was no negative energy around it. There was no negative space or fear or remembrance of abandonment. There was none of that. Okay, which spoke to me in volumes about how much I had healed. Okay, and it was quite sweet, like, when everyone like was kind of like, oh, remember when you were a toddler and you were running around with your curly blonde hair and your big blue eyes and blah blah blah, and you were a little terror and da 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 da, and it was all of that kind of energy. So that really took me longer than it should have. A huge apologies. So if you're still here, kudos to you. When I got home that evening, I didn't really think too much about it. I was just really grateful for the lovely day. And the next day I started thinking about it. Yesterday I started thinking about it. And I thought suddenly Kelso was like, you need to be more proactive about using your imagination more, doing more of your creative writing. So for those who don't know, I love fantasy books, not all fantasy books, but like I'm a huge Terry Pratchett fan, and that kind of stuff. And he said, you need to start engaging with that more. He's like, your manifestations, your happiness, your joy, all of that thrives on your imagination. So I was like, fair play, I get that. And then I had this genius idea to go and find my Magic Faraway Tree books. And I did. Thank God. And there's a reason why these boxes haven't gone yet, I'm telling you, because it's obviously all just falling into place. And so here are my original Magic Faraway Tree books from 1983, and this one came out, oh gosh, I need to kill myself there. That one was given to me in 1984. And the other book that really was one of my favorite story times was this one, Tales of Magic and Make Believe. And I don't know when I got this one, I'm not going to lie to you, because my biological gestation pod used to write in them. There's no writing in this one. So I don't know when I got this one. Well, it was published in 1983, so it couldn't have been too much longer after that. So what I want to say is like, I'm going to spend some time today reading some of the stories, and I was so excited just looking through it and remembering some of the lands that I had loved when I was a kid and that. And the one thing that Kelso had really wanted me to talk to you about today is that you need to engage in order to heal a lot of your inner child stuff. You actually are needing to engage with the things that you enjoyed as a child. Okay, because it will reignite the joy and the ecstasy. You have no idea how excited I was when I opened these books. I was actually talking to a friend of mine on WhatsApp, and I just said, I mean, like the absolute unadulterated joy I felt of finding these books and knowing that I'm going to sit and read through them a little bit later with a cup of tea, and I want to do some creative writing today, not for like my book that I want to publish, like just for fun, like I've got a little fantasy book that I've been writing that is just my escapism. It's not for anything else other than me to run away from life. And on top of all of that, as much as I'm loving my home, my curtain fabric arrived, so now I can sit down and sew my curtains. And it's just been this kind of day where it's just been so blissfully happy and joyful. And a lot of that has got to do with the childlike joy I feel around this home and around parts of my childhood. And in order for you to access that energy, Kelso is saying it doesn't matter how far along you are, because I know in the last one we said you've got to do the work, you've got to do the abandonment work, you've got to do that kind of work. And it's true, you can't ignore that work. That's vital work, right? I'm quite sure on some level another layer of the abandonment will come up with me, and I'm going to have to look at it again. And we are onions. I mean, they shake in them. I said this to you a million times. They were right. We heal in layers. Okay, we heal in layers. There's nothing else to it. But for the moment, I'm going to breathe in and enjoy the fact that I can heal myself through play. And Kelso is saying this is something that is absolutely huge for us to understand. And again, he's talking to me about the processing of moving from 3D into 5D. He's talking about the fact that as adults, we try and logic and rational, like everything's got to have a reason and a rhyme and a purpose. And as kids, it's not like that. As kids, it's just fun. It gives us joy. We're enjoying ourselves being creative. Even when when I used to make mud pies and weed salads and whatever the hell I used to do, you know what I mean? Like those are forms of creativity. Okay. And Kelso is saying when you are engaging with that, there's something about our internal spiritual workings and our core that starts shifting. It's almost like he's showing me cogs, and it almost like turns a cog that we don't normally turn in our soul space because we aren't engaging with it regularly. We don't play. We just don't play. And he wants us to understand that moving into 5D, healing is not going to be as let me rephrase that. Okay, because that was badly executed on my part. Not all healing is going to have to be as much hard work as it has been up until this point. Okay, guys, when we are dealing with big stuff like abandonment and stuff like that, that is hard work. Shadow work is always going to be just that. It's going to be in the shadows because it's hard. We don't want to shine light on that stuff because it's not sexy and it's not fun. Okay, but we've got to do that work. What Kelso is saying to me is that moving forward, there are ways to heal parts of yourself that are going to be through play, literally. And when we can come to terms with that, when we can have fun with it and engage with it on a playful level, our healing will change. And our reluctance to heal will disappear and dissolve. And we will feel more what's what I'm looking for? Not encouraged, not excited. Oh God, this word just completely slipped my mind. Kelso, help me, buddy. determined, thank you, more determined to actually do our healing, because it's not going to feel like we're carrying our own crosses. And Kels was saying that this is going to be a really quick little video. It's not a long thing, but he is really saying that it is vitally important for you to find ways to engage. Whether it's taking your dogs to the beach and running around on the beach with them, whether it's just, if as a kid, what you used to love doing was just going like hiding in the garden, or going and playing in the garden, or running through sprinklers. It's like, it's literally that fundamentally basic. All right. Whatever it is that brought you joy as a child. So I was a bit of a nerdy kid, I won't lie. Nothing's changed. My books. My books. I used to escape because I was an only child. So I used to escape into my books. If that's what yours was as well, make yourself some hot chocolate or some tea or some coffee and go and sit somewhere and get lost in the books of your childhood. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes to bring you to that space. You're going to need to engage with that and be fully comfortable in doing that. As kids, we didn't care if we looked ridiculous. We did it because we wanted to find out, A, if we were going to get into trouble, or B, how much trouble we were going to get into, or C, it was just really, really fun and it looked like something really cool to do at the time, and we didn't care. We didn't care as young kids what we looked like doing it. We didn't care if we ran through sprinklers and things like that our clothes would be soaking. And not like now, we were, oh, I don't want to walk wet clothes through the house because of the floors, and I don't want to mess up the carpets. And I get all of that. I understand that. But there has to be ways for you guys to activate this. It's really important energy at the moment. Everything is incredibly, incredibly heavy on a worldwide scale. And it needs to be. Things are shifting in big ways. Don't get caught up in what the media is saying. And I'm not saying go into conspiracy theories. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is try and detach from the pseudo news, or even if it's accurate reporting, whatever it is, don't get too involved in the drama. This is really about, Kelsey was almost showing me an image of when like parents are fighting. You see those movies where the parents are fighting and the kids go and hide. It's that kind of energy. They go and hide, or they go and play somewhere to distract themselves. It's kind of that energy. It feels like at the moment the big energies are fighting up there. We can't control it. It affects us down here. But at the end of the day, we need to find solace in things that calm us and make us happy and bring us joy. And I do feel that moving forward with this, I think that a lot more of our healing is going to be through play. So whether it's reading your favorite childhood stories, or whether it's sitting down, reading your favorite childhood stories, and if you enjoy writing, creating your own little childhood story, or creating a little storybook like for children, or whatever it is, right? Genuinely, we're needing to engage with this. So I wanted to just quickly drop in and just let you know that this is kind of where we're moving to. I think it's very important that we start engaging with play. We are too caught up in the drama of everything, absolutely everything, not just what's going on a political scale, on a worldwide political scale, and wars, and the next round of vaccines and whatever else it is, whatever it is that winds you up. We're not taking the time. We're not taking the time to climb trees. Okay, well, let's not kid ourselves. I mean, I'm not going to get my ass up a tree anytime soon. I mean, they'll need more than the fire brigade to get me down. But that's not the point. The point is, I'm engaging in childhood stuff that did bring me joy. And you guys need to as well. You need to actively find things that as kids brought you joy and now pursue it. Okay, so I'm going to say have a fun week. I don't think I've ever said that to you guys before. Have a fun week. Go and find whatever it is that makes you, if you know what, here's the thing, just one last thing. Here's the thing. If collecting silly teacups, like you had when you were a kid, you had little teacups, right? And you loved collecting tea sets and all of that. Because I did. I had little porcelain tea sets and shit like that. If that's what rocks your world, then do it. If it brings you joy, do it. I'm not saying become a hoarder, right? Let's not be funny about this now. I'm not saying become a hoarder. I'm also like, eat what you want. If you want to have a piece of cake for breakfast, you're a goddamn adult. Again, I'm not saying if you're chronically diabetic and it's going to put you into a coma, that's what you're going to choose to do. I'm saying, although we are aware and we're cognizant of responsibility, we are disengaging with it. You're not ignoring it. So this is not about being like dangerously stupid. This is about being carefree and fun. They are two very different energies. So please don't say to me, oh, but Mara, you said, we should go and eat, you like tap like 1244 diabetes, and you are basically just getting it through IV now. And you're like, you go and decide you want candy floss, like 3 kgs of candy floss in the morning. Okay, don't do that, right? It's not a good idea. But if collecting teacups makes you happy, or if having little tea parties in your garden, like as kids we used to do, have some friends over, have a tea party. Do what it was that brought you joy. Okay, I'm not saying you have to be a child or childish. I'm saying that you have to be childlike in your attitude, whatever that means. So, guys, I'm sending you so much love. I do want to just say to you, I think this is going to be a really good week this week. The energy has started off so beautifully. It is such a beautiful, smooth energy this week. Mercury is still in retrograde, so as an energy update, just please be careful with that. Please make sure that if you are signing anything, try not to do big purchases, try not to do contracts and shit like that this week. Well, during the Mercury period, if you have to, you have to, but just be very pedantic about crossing your I's and no, dotting your I's and crossing your T's. Sweet baby Jesus in a blanket. I'm just gonna go with it, whatever. And I hope that you spend some time actively pursuing fun this week, because I am, swear to God, honestly, my books, my tea later today when work is finished and clients are done, I'm all in. I've got curtains to sew, I've got walls to paint, I have just got so much beautiful creative energy around me at the moment, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for that. But I'm really hoping that you guys just engage in it. Have the best week ever. Sending you big loves as always, and I'll be sending out some videos in the next couple of days. I'm just going to do a little bit of a meditation later, and then tune in with Kelso and see what he wants to go out. I know that there'll be some divine feminine ones coming up, and also some kind of witchy ones. Okay, so sending you lots of love. I hope that you have a magnificent day, and I will catch you on the flip side. Big loves, guys.